As the first light of dawn stretched across the endless expanse of the sea, the world seemed to hold its breath, suspended between night and day. The sun rose slowly, casting golden rays across the tranquil waters, where gentle waves lapped rhythmically at the shore, a shore that seemed to stretch on forever, its sands freshly revealed by the retreating tide. After the long hours of darkness, the ocean had drawn back, leaving behind a tapestry of life, countless small sea creatures scattered across the moist sand, each one a testament to the mysteries of the deep. Among them, thousands of starfish lay stranded, their delicate bodies exposed to the coming heat. They were motionless, vulnerable, and unable to find their way back to the safety of the water. As the sun climbed higher, its warmth threatened to dry them out, sealing their fate if nothing changed. Along the coastal path, an old man made his way as he did every morning, savoring the peace and promise of the new day. His steps were slow and measured, a walking stick tapping gently at his side, his gaze sweeping across the familiar landscape. The cool breeze carried the scent of salt and freedom, and he relished the quiet solitude. Yet today, something unusual caught his attention, a small figure moving purposefully along the shore, bending and straightening in a dance of compassion and urgency. Curious, the old man drew closer, his eyes narrowing to make out the scene. It was a young boy, perhaps 8 or 9 years old, his clothes dusted with sand, his focus unwavering. With each step, the boy stooped to pick up a starfish, cradling it gently in his small hands before tossing it back into the waiting embrace of the waves. Again and again, he repeated the motion, undeterred by the enormity of his task or the endless horizon before him. The boy moved with a sense of purpose that belied his age, a quiet determination that spoke of hope in the face of overwhelming odds. The old man stopped and watched, pondering the futility of such an effort. The beach stretched for miles, and the starfish were too numerous to count. Surely it was more than one person could manage, more than anyone could hope to change. He shook his head, a sigh escaping him, and called out to the boy, his voice echoing across the sand. "Hey there, young man, what are you doing?" The boy paused, looking up with bright, earnest eyes that sparkled in the morning light. Without hesitation, he replied, "I'm saving the starfish. If they stay here until the sun gets too hot, they'll die." The old man chuckled softly, his tone gentle but tinged with skepticism. "Look around you. The beach is endless, and there are so many starfish. Do you really think you can save them all? What difference does it make?" For a moment, the boy was silent, his gaze dropping to the starfish in his hands. He studied it, feeling its fragile, living form, and then, with a quiet smile, he tossed it back into the surf. Turning to the old man, he spoke softly but with conviction. "It makes a difference to this one." The words hung in the air, simple yet profound. The old man was struck by their clarity, by the wisdom contained within the child's innocent perspective. He felt a wave of humility wash over him, recognizing the truth he had overlooked. In his years of experience, he had come to believe that greatness lay only in grand gestures, that one person alone could do little to change the world. But the boy had shown him another way, that kindness, even in small acts, could hold immeasurable value. Without another word, the old man bent down, his weathered hands reaching for a starfish of his own. He felt its cool, damp skin, its silent plea for help. With newfound purpose, he tossed it gently into the water, watching as it disappeared beneath the waves, safe once more. The boy's face lit up, a radiant smile spreading across his features as he saw the old man join him. Together, they continued, side by side, rescuing the stranded starfish one by one. As the sun climbed higher, casting its golden warmth over the sand, the two figures worked quietly, their efforts growing in rhythm and resolve. Before long, others walking the beach noticed the pair, curiosity drawing them closer. They paused to watch, listened to the story, and were moved by the simple act unfolding before them. One by one, they joined in, bending down to help, their hands reaching for the starfish that needed saving. Soon, the beach was alive with a small but determined community, united by a single purpose. The sound of laughter mingled with the cries of gulls and the whisper of waves. Each person worked at their own pace, some picking up starfish with care, others tossing them gently into the sea. The task was still vast, the beach still long, but the tide of hope was rising, carried forward by the collective spirit of those who refused to turn away. As the morning gave way to afternoon, the sun's rays grew stronger, casting shimmering patterns across the water and sand. Not every starfish would survive. Some would be left behind, victims of forces beyond human control. But thousands more were returned to the ocean, their lives spared by the hands of strangers who chose to make a difference, however small. In the quiet that followed, the old man reflected on the lesson he had learned. He realized that change did not always come in sweeping gestures or monumental acts. Sometimes it began with a single moment of kindness, a solitary choice to do what was right. The boy had not saved every starfish, but he had transformed the fate of many, and in doing so, had inspired others to join him. The story of that morning lingered long after the tide had washed away the footprints in the sand. It lived on in the hearts of those who had witnessed it, a reminder that even small acts of compassion could ripple outward, touching lives in ways unseen. The beach, the boy, the starfish, and the old man became symbols of hope, proof that when we choose to help, even in the smallest ways, we can change the world one life at a time.